back in the day with, LSD and mushrooms and psychedelics and stuff, there's still extreme danger with those kind of drugs, but the events going on surrounding the psychedelic culture seem to yield a lot different than the white powders. And I think it's all kind of a problem when it's not in moderation, and the fact is people don't seem to practice moderation very much.
What are your thoughts about this year's upcoming election?
Well, I was really bummed that John Edwards dropped out because, while I would have loved Dennis Kucinich or someone who's utterly radical and fearless, that's not really likely to get voted in because it doesn't really have to do with politics as much as it has to do with money. And our country is all about making money and keeping money at the expense of other people and other people's quality of life, although they don't really talk about it. So the candidate who's going to win is the candidate who says, I'm going to make as much money as I can for the U.S. corporations who are in control of the media, and then the media and the U.S. corporations rally around them and say, okay, we're going to put you in. And they go in cycles. They've got, two parties. One party's extreme cutthroat, completely shameless and not worried about what people think about them. That's the Dick Cheneys and the George Bushes, and they're basically like, we're going to rape and pillage and not give a fuck, and then after 8 years of that, we'll put in someone who looks like they give a fuck, and we'll, kind of tone it down and just take half as much from you. So they'll put in a Clinton or a Barack Obama. Everyone's like, okay, we won the election, it all worked out. And then after everyone's kind of like lazy and stuff, they'll throw in, Jeb Bush or someone else, and they'll rape and pillage for another 4 or 8 years. So it's not to say that it's hopeless. It's just to say that don't be fooled by the system. The elections are all controlled by voting machines, which are owned by Republicans and conservatives, and the networks are controlled by conservatives and people with corporate interests. And John Edwards had a chance at getting elected, and he also had a really populist message in terms of the working class and stuff. So I was really into that. I do wonder, is it better to get in a Clinton or an Obama and give ourselves a break for 4 years, given the fact that that might kind of like downplay our intensity of resistance? Or is it better to maybe have a Republican in there who's just going to keep it going bad so that we all keep staying riled up? Because it's important not to get apathetic and not to lose sight of the fact that the system needs to be destroyed and rebuilt, not just kind of like tampered around with.